an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment. Now come on now.
Welcome to another episode of Never Date Just One, sis. It is your host, Arthur China T, Coach Erica. And today we're going to continue our journey to learn how to properly roster date if it's the last thing we do. We have went through 33 episodes of greatness, lots of content. So you have to go back and jump into all those, because in order to get where we're going today, you have had to go back into lessons 1 through 33 to make sure that you looked at all of those videos and received what was told. The main point in all of those videos was learn how to date more than one person at a time and stop putting all your eggs in one basket. Learn how to keep your emotions to yourself. They're not getting you anywhere fast, and you're picking up speed to crash. And take sex out of it to see exactly if there are true commonalities and if there's a true attraction outside of sexual gratification. We went through different scenarios, talked about different things that we found on Facebook and the internet to show you how applying never dating just one to that, how those results could have been different for you. And then more importantly, beat it into you, the self-love, learning to love your image, everything about you from head to toe. And then how to get out there and navigate where to go to meet the guys that you want to meet, the ones that you want to align with, but what energy you need to have in the universe, the energy of abundance as opposed to scarcity, so that you're not attracting those who are on that same level, which is down here. Remember, your vibrations are moving up. You don't want to attract anybody that you used to attract a long time ago, so you should not be no longer reaching down to pull anybody up with you. You're traveling up, they're still down here, because the men that you want to attract are up here, and they're unable to pull you up from all the way down here. But as you keep getting closer to you, they will dip down, pick you up when you become a woman, back into your feminine energy. You're not blaming everybody for anything that you cause on yourself. And you also have apologized to yourself for the things that you put yourself through, that you allow others to push you through, but ultimately was your decision to have them in your life, okay? So that is a whole thing, and it's gonna take some time for you to get through those 33 videos, for you to understand where I'm coming from. And more importantly, how you have to stop using things like other people on the internet, such as Shearer and other dating coaches, things that work for them and the times that they got their husbands in versus where we are now and the new trends in dating now, okay? So you've got to catch up with the times and understand that you have to find what works for you. It's not a cookie cutter. It's not a one size fits all. You're not going to have just one roster. You may have several rosters until you get to where you need to do. But the main thing you need to be thinking about is abundance as opposed to scarcity. And you cannot bind with a man through sex. Doesn't matter how great your sex is. He'll get it for however long he wants to get it, just so you are just stuck helping him climb to those levels he needs to get to, so he can get to the women that he's trying to get around. And let me show you what I mean.
The man will date you for 6 years while looking for the love of his life. Think about that.
You heard it from a man. He is telling you the intentions and what other men will do for years while he's still looking for his person. I told you, y'all get with these men. Y'all meet each other down here because y'all have similarities in y'all emotional deficiencies. Too much sex gets involved, drugs, alcohol, whatever the case is. Y'all are really not aligned, but because you've involved in sex, you've involved your emotions. So he keeps you down here while you keep pouring into him and building him up. He keeps elevating because he's trying to get to the woman he's looking for. You're not her. But you don't know that yet. So you keep putting all this work. You keep doing too much. He can stay steadily rising. His needs are steadily being met. Your needs are still unmet. You're still at the bottom. And when he gets to where he needs to be and sees the woman that he needs, or if he feels like it's the best for him, he drops you like a bad habit. He pulls her up to his level, picks her up, and now you're steady at the same place that he found you in and left you in. Will date you for years, months, while he's still looking for his one. Now that you know what men will do, now that you can kind of figure out what some men will do, especially those who are broken, especially those who don't have an idea of who they are as a man. They don't know anything about being in their divine masculinity. We saw that on a different video, how they will blame you and make you break up with them, because if they do it the right way, they know it's going to further attract you in their life, and they just don't want that. So they don't do it the right way. They do it the way that you've been used to, the ones that you all have to cut them off, because I got to cut them off. I got to get rid of them. And you think that you're saving yourself, but you're just saving him time, because he didn't know how to do it anyway. So he didn't want to do it. Because if he did it the right way, then you would not go anywhere. So those are the type of men that are out here dating right now. They're playing around, and it is a needle in a haystack of where a different man that is waiting for you to come along, who has been asking the universe for someone like you, but your vibrations are so low that you cannot feel that pull from the energy in the universe. Why? Because you have to build your self-love, love your self-image, do your needs assessment, do your self-evaluation, know exactly what it is that you need, what you like, stay away from your dislikes. Learn how to verbalize these things, learn your love language, how people can love you through your love language. And then we can, master the art of having this roster with multiple people so you don't feel overwhelmed. Now, y'all know I'm a certified coach, so I don't just have never date just one. This is not the only dating book I've written. Prior to that, my first dating book was Date to Relate. And everything that we've been through at the top of this journey is how this book starts. Some of the first things that we do is dating 101, self-love. We go through self-love, then we go through self-captivation, where you got to learn how to captivate yourself before others do it. Self-completion, self-image. Who are you? Who am I? Learning yourself, learning your love language. And then it gives you a monthly accountability check for you to start holding yourself accountable for different things in your dating life, what you're doing, what you're not doing any more of. And then from there, it goes into where you are now, helping you create your dating vision board, because now you get to determine what it is that you actually, need and want for people once you've done your needs assessment. It takes you through that. And then it also helps you create your dating vision, talk about manifestation. So all of these things that we've talked about in all of the videos 1 through 33. So go back through those videos and see exactly what I'm talking about so that you know where we are. Right now, today, we're actively on our roster. You may have had your first date, your first conversation. You may have decided to put this person on the roster. You need to know how to move from here. Because again, I can't sit in a lesson that we got previously. I will come back to those as they are needed, as I find content that I need to address, because sometimes I told you I'd be surprised at the amount of videos that go viral and the comments from women who are still making the same decision to date one person at a time, still don't get the results they're looking for, but will love this video that they think is so profound, and it's speaking absolutely nothing, because you're not going to take into account that has nothing to do with you. What worked for that person will not work for you. So we need to move further into this journey. So you went out, you've increased your self-love, you know who you are, you know what your needs are, self-evaluation, you went out, you've met a few guys, maybe one guy, whatever it is. Remember, do not stay with that one guy, because you're going to meet more than one guy along this journey. If you keep putting all your eggs in a basket for one guy that you think is so profound right now, because y'all have maybe one commonality, you're going to find yourself speeding nowhere fast and picking up speed to crash, okay? But now we need to move in a different direction as we continue to grow this roster and work in this roster, okay? So let's go back to Tammy's story. Tammy, in today's dating game, Tammy knew she had the upper hand, especially with so many more men than women on dating apps. So Tammy used that to her advantage, okay? A 2022 report from Tinder showed that 62% of its users were men, while only 38% were women. Now, we've already talked about the 3 types of people that are on the dating apps. That are going to be the men that are in full relationships or married. That is going to be the men that are convicts, that are looking for somebody to hold them down or pen pal them. And then there's also going to be the last subgroup of men that are they don't have any other options but you. You are their only option. So we're going to call them the leftovers. That's what's on dating apps. It's every blue moon, every now and then, that you're going to find somebody that outside of those 3 that actually want to do what you want to do in dating. But that's very far in between. You got to probably go through a lot of different jerks and meaningless conversations before you get to that one man who's probably tired of it himself. Okay, so Tammy saw that as a major win for her, okay? With all of the men trying to shoot their shot, she realized she had way more options and could move through the dating scene with confidence. Because when you know you have more than one person vying for you, trying to get your time and your attention, whatever it is, it makes you feel great. You have to slowly move along before you get to the ultimate prize of your body, because ultimately that's what all men want. The physical is what gets them first. They'll learn about your mind and who you are as you continue to go on with them, but initially the physical attraction of what bring a man to you. You've never heard a man say, oh, I liked her because when I saw her I felt like she had a big brain. No. Oh, I liked her because when I saw her she was beautiful. Physical. Oh, I liked her when I saw her she had a great body. Physical. Oh, and I saw her, I liked her because she was sexy. It's physical. All of this is physical for them. It's what catches their eye. Doesn't matter what they say. They will learn your heart and who you are months, sometimes weeks, months later, if they even do that. But from the initial beginning, it is physical. Okay. Tammy was out here collecting suitors. She felt empowered, like to play the field and see what was out there without feeling rushed to settle down. And I told y'all to let go of them titles, because you'll have some men that know how to get you to the next level, which is to sleep with you. And what they will do is they will give you this title of girlfriend, boyfriend. Y'all have been on 1 date, 2 dates, or whatever, maybe a date and a chill. Then all of a sudden, you'll think that you're his girlfriend, and before you know it, now y'all are in bed having great sex, and you think you think the relationship is going somewhere. You think it's a relationship. For him, it's a situation. It's a new experience. And the moment it fades off or it wears off, he's going to be looking for another conquest, okay? Don't be the conquest. The best part about Tammy going out there and meeting different men is she felt no pressure to lock down with just one guy. Roster dating let her meet different types of guys so she could see what worked for her and what didn't. Every date was a new chance to get closer to knowing herself and what she truly needed and wanted in relationships, okay? She got real good at spotting what mattered to her most, whether it was a man's emotional maturity or how much fun they had together. She paid attention to all that stuff, and she documented all of that stuff in the roster. The roster will allow you to document all of that stuff. She took advantage of all of it. She met all kinds of men, each one teaching her something new about herself and her standards, okay? The key was that Tammy wasn't out here just feeling rushed, okay? She moved at her own pace, which I told y'all to pace it. You have the ability to pace a relationship. When you hear a man say, I want to take things slow, I want to take things slow, you don't let him pace a relationship. You pace a relationship, because what he's trying to do is he want to take things slow emotionally, but he'll get you in a bed at a drop of a dime. So that's not slow. So you pace the relationship, okay? For women, roster dating is a real advantage, especially when the numbers are in your favor. I told you why they say is more single women than single men. While that may be true, you still have the upper hand, because you still can go out there and collect as many numbers and add people to your roster as you go. You'll determine if they stay on your roster. You will not be giving them sex. You will not be investing in them emotionally or financially. So you don't care if they fall off your roster if they're not getting what they feel like they should get from you. You get to keep things light, have fun. You make smarter decisions about your time, who's worth your time, and with more men chasing after you, because the point is you want men chasing you. You have chased them too long and you've gotten I told you, y'all pick up speed and crash. Stop chasing men. The men that want to be chased, you can do one or two things. You can either sick a really mean dog on them to chase them, or you can call the police. You should not be chasing. Those are the only two options for you to give a man who wants to be chased. Call the police on him or send some rabid dogs at him. Other than that, we are not chasing men. The chase is from the man. Make sure you understand that, though, because a lot of y'all got it backwards. I'm going to show y'all what I mean right now. This is what it looks like when you chase men. When you chase men, that's exactly how it looks. You feel like you have to propose to them. You feel like they're supposed to be with you. And then he literally tells you, no, he doesn't want to marry you. No, he really doesn't want to be with you. He literally was there just enjoying the sex. He's not going to tell you he's enjoying the sex. He is enjoying everything that you was doing with him, for him, fulfilling his needs. If you're already doing that prior to the marriage, imagine why he doesn't want to marry you, because you're already doing it. And then marrying you will literally lock him into a commitment. You are not his person. So that is what we're not going to do. Now, key lessons that we need to take from Tammy's story. Her mind went from scarcity to abundance. What that means is roster dating flips the old school mindset where you got to lock down with just one dude at a time, okay? We ain't playing that game anymore. It's about seeing the world for the potential that is, sis, and trusting that there's plenty of good men out there. Look at Tammy. When she first started roster dating, she was feeling guilty, thinking she was leading folks on or playing unfair. But once she peeped that abundance mindset, once her mind changed to, it's raining men and I have to get my needs met, this is about me, she realized that her dating choice was wide open and full of chances. She let herself enjoy each interaction without the pressure of a forced connection. So she went from scarcity to abundance. She didn't need to lock in with nobody that quick. This also enhanced her dating experience. Managing multiple connections gave her a enriching dating experience, something she did not have before, because guess what? When you're dating one man and that's the only man that you're trying to date, you don't know how fulfilling it is to date multiple people to see exactly what it is that you like. You never even settled on what it is that you like because you never even thought about that and what you didn't like in your previous relationship, so that you don't have to come in contact with that anymore. Then she was able to build her confidence and build her power. Dating multiple people boosted her confidence and gave her a sense of empowerment, okay? It shifted the power dynamic in her favor, since she wasn't putting all her eggs in one basket or dependent on one single connection to validate her worth. She already validated her worth and her existence. So she knew she can go out there and date multiple people. She would need them to see how much they needed her in their life. It didn't bother her, okay? She was also able to manage her time and her energy. Effectively handling multiple connections requires a balancing, leading to a more satisfying dating experience. She learned to organize her time and energy efficiently, ensuring that she wasn't spreading herself too thin. And she set clear boundaries and was honest with her suitors about her approach, maintaining a healthy and enjoyable dating dynamic. And then also she avoided overwhelming guilt. Navigating her roster sometimes led to feelings of guilt or overwhelm, okay? This is what we want to make sure that you don't feel guilty or feel overwhelmed by having multiple guys. You have to pull back. That's why I told y'all you have to choose the days of the week that you want to date and the days of the week that you want to sit back and take a breather and kind of reflect on all of the things that you learned throughout the week for those dates, okay? And it also eliminates feeling guilty, okay? Men do it all the time. They have no sense of guilt. They would just have you and then have 3 or 4 other yous, and then you won't even know about the 3 or 4 other yous. At least on your roster, you're being honest from the beginning that you are dating multiple people, okay? The men don't do that. They just have you and her and all of y'all thinking the same thing, and all of y'all going hard for his attention and don't realize that all of his needs are still being met and all of y'all needs are not, okay? He doesn't feel guilty though. So with roster dating, it shifts the game and turns the tables around. Now you have multiple options. You're not going to be feeling overwhelmed because you're not giving all your time to one person or all your time to these people. You're still going to take some time out for yourself, and you're not going to feel guilty because at the end of the day, this is your dating experience. By adopting the approach of roster dating and viewing it through an abundance lens, you can transform your dating experience into a more empowered and fulfilling journeys, okay? But in order to do that, I told y'all to know y'all needs, have done your self-evaluation, know what you want, know what you like. But now you have to determine with these guys. And see, this is in the date to relate guide. Things you want in your partner, okay? Now you got to determine what you want in your partner. You all need to be able to write this down. What do you want from your partner, okay? What do you like? Okay, that's where you're going to write this down. What do you like? What do you like in your partners? Things you absolutely will not tolerate. Your deal breakers. What are your deal breakers? Like, for instance, for me, men with kids under 18. I want to say men with kids under 25, but definitely men with kids under 18. Huge deal breaker. Okay. Also, men that do not have jobs. Huge deal breaker. Men that work on weekends. Huge deal breaker. Why? Because I work Monday through Friday from home. So while sometimes I may be open to doing a weeknight date, my preference is actually the weekend, a Saturday or a Sunday. Okay, not to be going into a spend a night session. I told y'all to stay away from those, but I don't do that. I know I'm coming home. Like I know where I'm going with this. I know I'm going home. That's it. But men who work on the weekends, men who work overnight, those are deal breakers for me. I don't want a man that works overnight because he's going to sleep all day. That does nothing for me. I don't want a man that works on the weekends because now we don't have the weekend to go have adventures. That doesn't work for me, okay? What are your deal breakers? What will you absolutely not tolerate? You want to write those, okay? Things you liked about your previous partner. All right, now this is where you have to go into the past, okay? Because now you're going to determine, all right, with my ex-husband, for instance, I like the fact that for one, he was tall, for two, he was handsome. That's physical. But what I also like was that he loves to cook. I love to eat. It balanced out. When I wasn't a vegan, he put so much weight on me, so I like that he cooked. I like that he know how to take care of the home and clean the home. I love that. I'm not saying I don't like to clean, but my husband was like OCD worse than me, okay? I like that he would go to the grocery store. I hated going to the grocery store. I would order on the app. But sometimes ordering on the app doesn't get me the things that I need, so I need to go in the store. I hated that. He loved going to the grocery store. I just hated taking that journey with him, okay? But I like that. I like that he know how to fix things around the house. I'm not a man. I don't know how to fix things. So he fixed a lot of things. So I like the domestic part of that, okay? What are the things that you like in your previous partner? Because these are going to be some of the things that you're going to be looking for in people moving forward, okay? Then, what are the things that you did not like? I told y'all, while your dislikes do nothing for the next person, you definitely need to recognize them so you can know what you're not going to tolerate. What I did not like was that he always went back to his mom when there was an issue. I did not like that. I did not like that because you take away from us figuring this out. So the fact that you'll pack a bag and go back to your mom and she'll open the door and let you come, I did not like that at all. I don't want any more men who has a relationship that close to their mom, but they got to be running back to her when me and him have a rift. If you do that, then that is a deal breaker for me. Again, I don't like that, okay? I did not like the fact that for a while he did not have a vehicle and I had to chauffeur him around. I did not like that. Or he had to drive my car. I did not like that because I don't like anybody driving my vehicle that's with my name on it and my credit. Sorry, husband or not. Get your own vehicle. That's just how I feel, okay? It's not a deal breaker, but I do not like it. So please do not bring it my way because I will never like it. So what are the things that you do not like that your previous partner showed you? Because again, these are things that you're going to see on your roster. You're going to document it as you go so that you know exactly what it is, okay? You're going to document those things. The roster goes into detail about everything here. And you're going to be rating these men from 1 to 10. Things that you like, with 10 being the highest, 10 things that you don't like. 1 is things that you don't like. 10 is things that you like, okay? And then you're going to also, anything in between, things that can be improved over time. All right, so you have to know that. And then the last thing you need to do is things you are willing to compromise on. Remember I told y'all about sometimes you get people who are not willing to compromise. Sometimes you're not willing to compromise. What are some things you're willing to compromise on? Kids under 18, not a compromise. Adult kids, I can compromise with as long as they're not needy adult kids. What does that mean? Your adult children cannot still be hitting you up as a father, needing help financially and all this stuff. Why? Because you have to sow into what we have going on. And kids, when they become adults and they get lovers, they do not put their parents first. That's it. So I'm willing to compromise on adult kids. I'm not willing to compromise on kids under 18. I'm also willing to compromise with a man who still lives with his mother, but I do not like if he still goes to her and tell her our business. If you're still living with your mother, maybe you're trying to save some money. Maybe I may be the motivation you need to be able to get out of there and come where? Here. to make this home a lot more fulfilled, where the bills are no longer my responsibility. I can compromise there if you still live with your mom. Long as you don't need somewhere to live. If you're homeless, I cannot compromise with that because you cannot move up in here. Like, not when we, you know what I'm saying? Like, people will think that they'll think that they're so great and they're the exception, that you'll meet them and then they so used to moving in with people within 2 weeks of knowing them, they're gonna think it's gonna happen with you. That's something I can't compromise on. But I will compromise if you do live with your mom or your grandmom, because you may be trying to save up to get a woman like me, and I'm here for it, okay? So what are the things that you're willing to compromise on? You're gonna learn all of this as you go through your dating on your roster, okay? Once you get these things determined, the things that you want, the things that you need, the things that you will absolutely not tolerate, the things that you like, and the things that you do not like. Once you know that and the things that you're going to compromise on, then you should have an effective roster analysis for you to be able to analyze each date that you go on. As y'all remember, CF was the first, that was an analyzation for the first date that we had, okay? And he was going to move to the roster, except after I discovered that he thought that he was going to sleep with me. Then what did I have to do? I had to cancel him out. Anything under 100 on a roster, it shows that you need to cut that person off, because they're obviously not going to be where you need to be. And you're going to document this over time. Now this may have started low at 48, but it could have easily started increasing as time went on. Time did not go on, so I was already under 50%. So I already knew from the beginning that it would have had to have some more work, or would have had to be cut off. Now that we have our wants, needs, tolerations, what we won't tolerate, what we liked in our last partner, what we didn't like, and what we'll compromise on, you should be able to move through your roster without a problem. How do you maintain contact throughout your roster through dating? Where you're going to keep things light, fun, and fluffy. Don't be falling too hard, too quick. You shouldn't. I told y'all about them long conversations on the phone. Get out of them. I told y'all about them long texting threads every day. Get out of them, because your feelings are getting involved. You're doing these fuzzy stuff in the inside, means nothing when a man is still trying to get to your physical. Okay, and you don't know that because you don't know the difference yet. You haven't seen the difference. That's why you have to have multiple men, so you can see the multiple efforts, so you can now determine such and such did not like me because he did not do those things, but what's his name did all of those things, and you can appreciate it, okay? Removing sex from dating too soon. I told y'all about those patterns. You don't realize that some of y'all was having sex too soon, within a month, within a week, within 6 months. Sex too soon, needs were still unmet. Feelings were still not being validated. So what were you exactly giving? What was the prize for him? Your body? For what? Remove it out of your mind, out of the situation, out of the equation, okay? Ask meaningful questions and uncover the character, okay? Y'all saw in a previous video I put up, the lady said she was tired of dating. I told y'all I was never tired of dating. But the typical woman will always be tired of dating. Why? Because she's still asking typical questions, getting typical answers, and she's still getting typical results. The game changer, that's me. The game changer asks questions that's going to make these men think. I told y'all one of the things that CF liked was the fact that I asked him, what are your needs? Something that another woman had never asked him before. What are your needs? What are the things that you need to have fulfilled to feel loved the way that you want to be loved? And he had to sit down and think of that for some days and then come back to me with his needs. And that's what we spoke about at that dinner. Okay? Be the game changer. Do not be the typical woman. You should not be asking him about any woman that came before you. What you should be asking him about, what did he do in that relationship that made that relationship fail? Because you want to know if he takes responsibility or if he starts being disrespectful towards that woman and making all his excuses, because that's going to give you a little bit of glimpse of who this man is dealing with y'all. Okay? You also need to learn how to approach speaking with his parents. Okay? This is important. It's not going to happen right away, but you may get a man that within weeks of meeting him, he may ask you, do you want to come to the family cookout, the family dinner, whatever the case is. You may be moved into the space of meeting the family, i.e. the parents. and namely the mothers, because the mothers are the ones that's acting like they're so critical and got to do this analysis of whoever their son bringing home, because they don't want to. I'm talking to you if you're a mother, because you think that you know who your son is, but you have never dated your son. You don't know who your son is dating, or husband, or relationships. You just know that's your son. So when y'all go in trying to do this hard analysis or judging these women, you forget that you ain't, I don't know what you think you raised, but if you knew him on the other side of the coin, which you may never know, you will never know. You can't think that your son is just the cream of the crop. He might be a straight up bum, but you're his mom. You don't want to pull the wool from over your eyes that he put on him. Okay? You will be speaking to the parents, namely the mother, because fathers usually don't get involved in that catty stuff that the mothers do. If you get an opportunity to meet the father, you want to learn how to approach conversations with his parents in a respectful and meaningful way. Uncover whether he was raised with love, support, and stability, or if he was raised in a struggle. That is very important when it comes to how he responds to you, treat y'all relationship, and how he respects women. You need to know, and you're going to figure this out by observing him, how he treats you, how he treats others, and how he treats himself. You're going to also uncover if he was raised in love or if he was raised in a struggle. You're going to be able to tell that by when you go around his family and see how they living and how they acting. Like, oh yeah, okay, all right, I don't know if I can deal with this. This is, because for me, that's a deal breaker. If you was raised in a struggle, long time ago, I thought it was a commonality. But those broken men from that struggle take those broken habits into adulthood. Some of them don't change at all. So if you was raised in a struggle, deal breaker. My ex-husband actually was raised in love, which is one of the biggest attractors to him, is because he came from a 2-parent household. So he knew the importance of man and wife as husband, man and woman as husband and wife. He knew that. He was able to see that with his mom and dad. Okay. Actually, all of the guys that I actually had dealings with, the examples that I'll never be with again, the one thing everybody had in common was everyone had a relationship with their father. Everyone had a father in their life. A deal breaker for me is a man who does not know his father, one who says, F that ninja, because he wasn't there for me. If that man is still blaming his father, he doesn't know the full story that I'm sure his mother would never give him, deal breaker. Not willing to compromise at all. Okay, you want to learn how to act. You want to assess him when he's meeting his friends and coworkers, because who he is with you versus who he is when his parents and families around versus who he is when his coworkers and friends are around are 3 different versions of that man. You need to see all 3 of them. You need to see how he act when he with his homeboys. You need to see how he act when he with his coworkers. 2 different versions. They may align, okay, but sometimes they don't. So he just may be a male whore out here just trying to get at everything that walk by when he with his homeboys, because that's the energy he want to give that. But while he's at work, he may be just as proper and prim and just as professional. You need to be able to see all the versions of him so you can make an informed decision, because a lot of times in the past, we've only seen the version that they show us when they with us. And they sometimes, again, can gaslight you, pull a wool over your eyes, and love bomb you, because all you have is that version that you see with you, how he treats you. You've never seen how he act with his parents. You've never seen how he act with his family. You've never seen how he acts with his homeboys. You've never seen how he act with his coworkers. You don't know how he acts in those spaces, but you need to see all those versions so you can see if that aligns with what you want and need in a man. You also get to see how he acts and speaks when he's facing a problem. You have to see that. On the roster, it's very important that as the time goes by, you have to see how this man takes on confrontation or takes on problem solving, okay? If he's confronted by somebody, a stranger in public, does he get extremely mad and want to fight or go to guns? Or is he able to talk that entire aggressive situation down to something that everybody can walk away on common ground with no problem? You need to know that, because if you can see how he acts in confrontation, then you can know how he gonna act in an argument with you. If he's gonna be disrespecting you and calling out your name, or if he's gonna back down and listen to what you're saying, take into consideration, and then respond. Okay. You also need to see how he is when he's facing a problem. You need to see if he's a good problem solver. That's a man being a man. Men figure things out. Boys never do. Ninjas don't know how to. So you need to know how he is when he faces problem. A problem is, let's just say, for instance, his transmission on his car goes out. That's a huge problem and a huge cost. You need to see if he's angry, how he talks when that happens, or you need to see if he goes straight into trying to get that resolved. If he's finna buy a new car, or if he's finna get a new transmission, do he know somebody who knows how to rebuild a transmission? What is his solution to that problem? You need to know, because in marriage, you want to know if this man is going to be able to help you solve problems or solve problems that you have yourself. All of those different things, again, you're going to calculate and be adding that stuff up on your roster. Okay? Over time, you're going to always be looking at the bottom line, the overall rating. Anything under 50% is a red flag. You don't need to be moving forward with somebody who is not even half, they're not even half of what you need. Okay? Our goal is to get to 100. While it may be impossible, because I told you 100 is probably going to be the perfect man for you. But while it may be impossible to get there, you want to get as close to 100 as possible. 75 or above. You don't want to take anything under, because, again, those are red flags, and those are going to be issues that will come up later on that you're going to be like, dang, yeah, dang, it happened again. I told you I'll be speeding to nowhere fast and crashing. You don't want to do that. Now that we got how to maintain the contact throughout the roster, also how we can switch from scarcity to abundance, enhance our dating experience, build our confidence and our empowerment, manage our time and our energy, and stop feeling overwhelmed and stop feeling guilty. We now know what it is that we want and need, what we will not tolerate, what we liked in our previous partner, what we did not like in our previous partner, and what we're willing to compromise on. All of that plays a role as we move through this roster, so that you can get to the ultimate goal of finding your one, if that is your goal. But know what your goal is, because you may not be trying to find one right now. You just want to have fun. Determine if you're trying to have fun, if this is going to be serious or beneficial. I said that in another video as well. You need to determine, okay? For me, I need something that's serious and beneficial. But I will take the beneficial part more than anything, because I need somebody that's going to make life easier.
I love my husband because he made my life easier. I remember him telling me that when I said, Julius, I want someone who's emotionally available. He said, well, I'm emotionally available. I said, I know, but I just want someone who's going to fight with me. Just love me, even with all my faults. He said, I love you with all your faults. That's when you know you're in love. When someone is willing to go through the mess, and someone who's willing to honor the boundaries.
Tune in to our next episode as we continue this journey on learning how to never date just one, sis, and enjoying ourselves while we're doing it. See you tomorrow.